Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about the new map layout that we got for V, and I hope you enjoy learning about it. It's going to talk about different distracting places and what the areas are called so you can have better comms with your team and all that good stuff. So first, what's important to note is VEE'S Lounge. This may be where you spawn, as there's an elevator here, and the other place where the elevator can spawn is in the backstage, which would be, you'll see it later on. Anyways, but some distinguishing traits if you don't know what to call this in the moment. There's some gift boxes here. I haven't seen these gift boxes anywhere around the map, so that's a good trait to mention. As well as these purple couches over here. There's two of them, as well as an armchair that V's on. So that's some traits. There's some lockers here. These aren't... There's a lot of lockers around the map, but you could mention that there was lockers here if you needed to. As well as those clothing racks. Posters probably aren't going to help that much. But yeah, there's a bunch of clothing racks in here. As you can see, my ping is great. Anyways, that's V's Lounge. You can also call it like a lobby or whatever. The chairs room. Whatever you find works for your team. So back there, that was V's Lounge. So like from V's Lounge, you would like go out and then you'd go this way and then you would make it to the game show stage. We call this the game show stage because, well, these would be where the contestants would be, right? And it would say if they got them right. Like obviously this person got them right. As you can see, these two twisteds are actually going downstairs because this has two stairs on either side, which you'll see better in another screenshot. Also, a machine can spawn here. This is the lore, but like if you go like back that way, then you'll find the lore room. You'll find like a room before it, which I called lockers, but you'll also find, so there's like a room here. There's like a room here. And then there's like two rooms over here, which you'll find. And in the locker room, there's going to be like a stairs, which you'll see. And then there's going to be the lore room. Alright, so now we are in lockers. As you can see, although lockers aren't like a distinguishing trait, because, you know, there's lockers that appear all around the map. That was really the only thing that I could see in this room. So that's why I named it that. And anyways, you can see like these rooms are connected, but this is part of the rooms that are over here. Like this is obviously the game show stage. You can see the little buttons out there. You can also see the stairs a little bit better. I also call this spot curtains, like specifically from here to here. You know, in case you need to like say that an item's over here or whatever. And, you know, because like this is a pretty big space and this is a littler space to kind of condense it down. This is mostly for items. You could also probably distract here too, if need be, as well as this space. I don't think these boxes you can go around though, but I'm not sure. We'll talk more about distracting spots later on. Yeah, but lore room goes that way, and you go into that room. Well, it's like two rooms down, so there's like a room there, which you can go downstairs, and then there's another room. But they're all connected. It's not like very separate. There's not like, I mean, there's kind of doorways, but they're very long, so it just kind of makes all one room. Alright, so this is the lore room that I was talking about. We call it the lore room because of this projector. It has some V lore on it. There's a bunch of projectors in here. Also, this wall is pretty unique, so if you needed to describe it, you could say it's the gray tile room or whatever. There's also this spinny chair in here, as well as a little bag, which I don't know if I've seen anywhere else. As you can see, lockers is right there. That's where we just were. Game show stage would be over there, and lobby and whatnot. And there's downstairs. And if you keep going down these stairs, you will eventually reach arcade, which is going to be like all the way down there. Alright, so this is the bleachers area. We call it bleachers because of it's the seating area for the game show stage. There's that machine we saw earlier, as well as the stairs. You can see them a lot more clearly. It will look like that on the other side as well. And you can see Louis. Louis was in a previous screenshot and he went downstairs to there. As well as Poppy's right there. It looks like she's about to go up. Anyways, the arcade is that way. And the stairs are like somewhere over here. It's not in the screenshot, so you can't see it, but the stairs would be like a room there, and then you would be able to go like there. Also behind us is a distracting spot. I don't have it featured in the clip, but there's like a glass casing that you will be able to see, and a little loop spot. Here is Arcade 1. There's that loop spot I was talking about, by the way, that was behind us, so like our character was like over there somewhere. So you can see that this is very close to that. There's like a wall separating. So like behind this wall is the bleachers, and this is another loop spot that you can use as well. Yeah, so unique things about this. Notice the Dance Dance Revolutions are right here. You can't really see it, but they are there. You can kind of tell from that little thing that they're Dance Dance Revolutions. There's 2 in each arcade, but the position of them is different, and I kind of use that to distinguish them if need be. The backstage is also this way. The stage would be behind that wall. Like the game show stage, not the backstage. Backstage would be, yeah. Alright, as you can see, this is the other arcade. Cosmo is right here. And an important thing to note is the Dance Dance Revolutions are in the back when you're heading from this entry. Imagine your little tune, like walking in here. Yeah, you imagining it? Yeah, they would see this in the back of the room. And I know it looks like front here, but it would be the opposite side if you were coming in. There's also another looping spot. These are like reflected on each side. They're just in a different rotation. As you can see them a lot better here. Like they have like a different front thing that kind of distinguishes them. This is also, I'm pretty sure you could use this as a pebble looping spot as well as this thing. You don't really see it from the side profile, so it's kind of hard to tell that this is a looping spot, but it is. Like, this is probably the best spot to loop pebble, except for the fact that there's like 2 machines that spawn here, so you will have to rotate if you want to distract here, but it is generally safe because if your teammate is doing the machines on the other side of this wall, they will be protected. And as long as there's also these walls, which are helpful for distracting pebble. Your main line of sights would be like if your teammates are here or if they're here. I think I'm not sure. I think the the stairs work a little bit weird with like line of sight, so be careful with that. I'm pretty sure. I know on the game show stage they can't see you when you're on it because there's like those barriers, but I think for this stage they can. So you probably also wouldn't want to really be on this stage, but it might be. But this thing is also protecting the line of sight, so as long as you don't like go in probably this area or this area, you could go around the kiter from here. You know, like you could take that path from this side to that side if you needed to go to the machines in both arcades. Again, Arcade 1 is that way, and Arcade 2 is this way. This is the one with the Dance Dance Revolutions in the back, and the Dance Dance Revolutions are more towards the front in this one. So this is the general map layout if you didn't understand like anything in my video and what I was talking about. The curtains that you saw from earlier would be right there, and this would be the game show stage where they had like the buzzer things. This is VEE'S lobby. It has a little thingy here because the elevator would be right there. It looks like fake is actually in this one, so I was right about the layout switching from the real and fake elevator being in these two spots. I don't think it could spawn anywhere else because there's not any other elevators on the map. As you can see, those are the two couches from VEE'S Lounge. And then there's this area. Now you can really see what I was talking about with the boxes. There's, let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 rooms all on this wall. But there's only 3 rooms on this side. Whereas this one has 1. So it's like 1 to 3. So this is the locker room, right? I was when I took the photo, I was standing like right between them, so you could see the curtains as well as the little lockers over here. And then I had like a little arrow that pointed towards here, toward the lore room, but the lore room is actually 2 rooms down. As you can see, this is the lore room. And I put downstairs for here because this is like the little room before you go downstairs. You can see there's like a little doorway here. That's because it's stairs. It kind of has a... It's not just like straight down. It kind of does a weird thing. But anyways, now to talk about some distractor spots. I already mentioned this place in the middle. You can see how long it is and why this would be good for Pebble. This is also an option that you might use. I figured it might work because it's big. I think you could also use this maybe in these, like this, and this might be your best options for Pebble. Mind you, I've not tried all of these spots, but these are just some places that I think would be good for distracting Pebble specifically. Craft Siblings are highlighted in the blue, and I figured Craft Siblings is really hard on this map to like say where to distract them. I think unironically, I think the best spot to distract them would probably be this, because 2 would be good because this is your classic table setup for distracting scraps, and if you only have 1 craft sibling on you, then I would definitely go for this one. I will warn though, this is a very tight space. I don't know if you could tell from the picture, but yeah, you're gonna be going like a very tight loop around that, which is good because craft siblings need that. But also, if you had to like go out for any reason, it would be difficult. Rotating. If you were to rotate from this spot to another, it would also be quite the journey to get to another spot. As well as, I'm not sure if machines can spawn in here. They probably can, though, because mostly that happens. I just haven't seen all the machine spawn spots yet, because I haven't experienced the map a lot. But yeah, you probably could. It would just be really difficult to rotate to these spots. As well as like this would be... You could probably kite it here. This is just a little bit too long for my personal liking for distracting craft siblings. Also, I would call this the zigzag if you ever want to like distinguish between these two. This is the zigzag side, whereas this is like a curve. You've got the curve spot and the zigzag spot. Just a little tip. There's also these stairs. You could also say it's the side with the stairs on it, because this does not have stairs here, except for there. But that's just normal of the stage. It's not like, you know, yeah, like the 2 stairs side or whatever. Yeah, and then we have some other distraction spots that I've thought of. This map is really great for distracting anywhere, purely because of the mere size of this thing. It's crazy huge in game. You could probably tell that it's pretty big too because of all this space just here. Like here, you've got tons of space to distract, you could distract here. As long as you don't have Craft Siblings or Pebble. I mean, honestly, you could distract Pebble if you were playing as Louie on 1 heart. You would just need stam providers. You could probably do that. This spot's a little more risky, solely because there's an entryway here. There's like two spots where you're like, if your teammates were to see you kiting here, then they could just like they could stick to, they could be on the stage and not get spotted, and they could just go the other way. Whereas if you're, well, I mean, if your teammate was coming from here, then they could go the other way and not get spotted. But if someone happens to be over here and goes downstairs and sees you, they're not really gonna know as much to avoid you. Like, they're not gonna have much of, because this is a very narrow doorway, and they wouldn't see it as much as you would be able to tell from the stage. So this is gonna a little bit more risky spot, but you can definitely do it if you have good team comms. These spots are actually probably more risky than this one. I would say this spot is actually one of the best spots to distract, other than the fake elevator. But yeah, these spots are going to be a little more risky because your teammate can get sighted from coming out of this door entryway. On this side, it's a little safer, it looks like, because your teammate would be coming from out of there and there's no door entry, so they could avoid that more easily. As long as they aren't coming out of the 7 or Arcade 2, then they would be fine. Yeah, there's the Dance Dance Revolutions in the back, by the way, that I was talking about. Here's the bleachers as well. You can kind of see it a lot more clearly. The stage would be there. I also, more on Scraps and Goobs, I figured this one would be a little bit better than the Zigzag, purely because it's a little smaller. I figured that would be more manageable than trying to go around this long thing, but, you know, it's good for cutting corners, I guess. So there's perks and disadvantages. Then there's also these ones, which are kind of smaller. Still not great. Like, ideally, you want the smallest space possible. So that's why I have these two, which minimize the spot. You can't really do this, because no door, sadly. This spot, as far as risk, I mean, your teammates could easily dodge it if they come from that way. They wouldn't, this whole entire entrance would be blocked off. And if there were they probably wouldn't, they might see aggro like here. Like if they were in any, well, sorry, here. Like this would be, let's say that this is the field of aggro. So they would get spotted from like around there, depending on what twisteds you had. That's just an approximation though. These spots, obviously, as long as your team knows how to avoid them, it should be fine. Like they could go hide behind this wall, or loop around this, or just whatever. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this slideshow of me kind of breaking down what to do for this map, and let me know if you have any other maps that you want me to break down in the next video. I will see you later. Goodbye. Have a good day.